This morning we're in the green pastures of East Vancouver. With me on camera as always is Rick Von Schmidt. And this is the site where Empire Stadium used to be from 1954 to 1990. It had 30,000 seats and was home to the BC Lions football team and Whitecaps soccer club. Empire Stadium was built for the 1954 Commonwealth Games. And you got some old pictures we can show our friends here, Rick? Alright, so the Commonwealth Games are kind of a mini Olympics. On August the 7th, 1954, the 1 mile race was the setting for a miracle here. It was a showdown between the two fastest dudes on the planet. Brit Roger Bannister had just become the first person to break the 4-minute mile in May 1954. And in June of that year, Australian John Landy had become only the second dude to do it. The place was packed, jam-packed, as people awaited one of the greatest showdowns in sports history, and they weren't disappointed. Rick, let's say we recreate this famous run. Alright, we're here on the start line, Rick. And this is where Landy and Bannister and a few other fast dudes would have gotten their spots. The gun would have gone off, and away they went. They went around the track 4 times. Rick, I think we're just going to be able to do it once here, but as we're going now, Rick, I wonder if you can tell me Vancouver's favorite sport. Hockey, you think? Well, I don't think so, Rick. Football? No, sir. Soccer? Oh, you're naive, Rick. Motocross? No. 3-legged race? No. Wife carrying? No. Egg tossing? No. Parcheesi, Rick. Would you believe that Vancouver's favorite sport is actually running? We're obsessed with it. If you don't believe me, check this out. Vancouver loves runners so much that we have several statues dedicated to their memory. Here's our Terry Fox Memorial. In 1980, Terry attempted to run across Canada on one leg doing a marathon a day, trying to raise money for cancer research. And here's Percy Williams, Canadian athlete and winner of the 100 and 200 meter races at the 1928 Summer Olympics, former world record holder for the 100 meter sprint. And here's Harry Jerome. Harry competed for Canada in the 1960, 64, and 68 Olympics. During his career, Harry set 7 world records in sprinting. We love him so much here, there's even a rec center in North Vancouver named after him. Alright, we're back on the track here. Now, what made this 1 mile race a miracle is something that happened with only 90 yards to go. John Landy glanced over his shoulder to see if Bannister was close behind him. At that moment, Bannister shot past him on the other side and won the race in 3 minute 58.8 seconds. Landy finished in 3 minute 59.6 seconds. And it was the first time 2 dudes had broken the 4-minute barrier in the same race. A miracle. Now, Rick's wife, Mrs. Von Schmidt's going to help us recreate that famous moment here. Okay, Rick, pretend you're Landy, coming down and looking over the shoulder, and yeah, there goes Bannister to win the race. Thanks, Mrs. Von Schmidt. Nice gal. Alright, we're coming up to the very spot where that famous shoulder check happened. And if you look over to the right there, you guessed it, another statue dedicated to our beloved runners here in Vancouver. Let's check it out. Alright, there's Landy on the right. You can see he's looking over his left shoulder with Bannister pulling up beside him. A moment that was a fraction of a second, now frozen in time forever. It's a little hard to see here because it's backlit with the bright blue sky, but a photographer took a picture of that famous moment. I'll get a better look at it here. Rick? There he is, poor Landy, looking over the wrong shoulder. And there's Bannister pulling in for the win with Landy right behind him. Sir Roger Bannister became a doctor after his running career, and he was more proud of his accomplishments in medicine than running. He passed away in 2018 at the age of 88. The Honourable John Landy went into politics, and the 89-year-old is currently enjoying life in his native Australia. Regarding his Vancouver sculpture, Landy quipped, "While Lot's wife was turned into a pillar of salt for looking back, I'm probably the only one ever turned into bronze for looking back. A humble loser, a great dude." Here's the finish line. Hope you enjoyed this little taste of old Vancouver as she once was. I'd like to thank Bev Sugarman for makeup, Jewel Hilmer for wardrobe. On behalf of Rick and myself, thanks for watching. That's a good bee.